Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this installment of Tasting in the Dark. So tonight we've got our similar format, 6 wines presented blind to an absolutely esteemed panel. I will let them introduce themselves quite briefly. I'll yank the microphone away from both Garret and Woody so that Gianna can speak more freely. And they're going to plow through these 6 wines with great diligence, perseverance, and accuracy to ascertain who's the most yummy and, well, which is the runt in the litter. All right, starting with you, Woody. Who are you and why are you here?
My name is Woody. I formerly at Goose and Gander. Now I'm down at Bouchon in Yountville. Didier invited me down. I did a cork course with them and happy to be here.
Went from the rednecks of St. Helena to the fancy folks down in Yountville. I see how you're going to be. All right. Gianna, if you'd be so kind, introduce yourself to the big global network world called the interweb machine. And whom are you and why are you here?
Hello, everyone. I'm Gianna. You might otherwise know me as the Decantress. I'm a wine blogger.
Decantress?
Yes.
You didn't tell me that.
Not to be feared. I just try to bring Napa's awesome wine experiences to the cyber world. So check me out on Decantress Wine Diary. And then I also just recently architected the wine list for a hot new bar in San Francisco called Noir. So check that out as well.
Wow, fascinating. We've been chatting you up for the last 20 minutes. You decided not to tell me that you're an industry pro. All right, fine. Then let the rest of the world hear your full name because it's pretty cool.
Gianna Cardinale Gaudini.
There you go. We got mojo at the table, ladies and gentlemen. And her fine beau, this is Garret with how many T's?
2 R's and then 2 T's.
Garret, where are you from? And more importantly, why are you here?
I am originally from Philadelphia. And
Philly guy.
I've been living in the Bay Area for over 15 years now. And I am here because, well, I'm the only civilian of the bunch. Man on the street. We're going to get sort of that experience.
Perfect. We'll go extra gentle on you in the beginning and extra hard at the end.
And you did mention I am married to contestant number 2.
Sorry, I was going to introduce your last name as well, hoping the crew. Oh, so what is your name, sir?
Garret Gaudini.
Shazam. Okay, for those of you who are not as sharp as me or much, much sharper, they have the same last name. He was smart enough to marry this beautiful girl. Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, jump into glass number 1. It is left to right, 1 through 3. Once you've completed about 7 minutes of tasting, evacuate your glasses, recharge them with 4, 5, and 6, and we will be teasing you the whole way through. Have fun. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm tearing the place up without even knowing it. We have yet another Garret in the house. Now, first and foremost, Garret, 1 T or 2?
Only one is needed.
Oh, so it's going to be that kind of night. All right. The only thing I know about these 6 wines procured by Garret from the Vintners Collective is that someone likes their wines unfined and unfiltered. Yes, that is purple goop on my hand. Okay, Garret. I will ask you the same question as our esteemed panel. Whom are you and why are you here?
My name is Garret Murphy, and I'm the owner of a multi-winery tasting room in downtown Napa called Vintners Collective. And we opened when Napa was still fledgling, essentially. 11 years ago is when we opened, and we invited at that time about 6 wineries to share space there, and now we have about 12 to 15 on average.
If I may. Okay, so Garret Murphy, I'm going to assume you're not from Southern California?
Yeah, there's an accent right here, a French accent. I was born in Boston and grew up in Paris.
Wow, look at you being the global guy. All right, fine. Everybody's fancy tonight but me. Dumb redneck from Northern Michigan, the couple from beautiful Italy. Well, then there's Woody. So at least I've got one friend. Okay, Garret, so we've got 6 wines on the table. Is there any point of communion amongst them? I'm going to assume that they're all clients. And is there a driving force or style that you were looking to emulate?
I was looking into bringing to light a specific region in Napa Valley where these wines and these blends do very well. And so they're pretty much all but one from that region.
Outstanding. Now, if you have a collective of a dozen different houses. Is it kind of like having a family with 12 kids where you really love a few of them, but you kind of detest a few of them? They're just a thorn in your side? I mean, now be honest. You're only speaking to a couple million, maybe a billion people out there. So honesty is the best policy.
It's easy. Honestly, there was no way we were going to invite anyone that had a bad attitude at Vintners Collective. So they're all super sweet, super driven, fantastically talented winemakers, and I love them all. We've been together since the beginning for most of them.
Outstanding. And that's being a bit more familiar with your operation or your house. Not only is it a beautiful building and a phenomenal team, your staff speak beautifully about the wines and, more importantly, why they were selected as partners in that house. Okay, now, we've got Gianna, pretty blonde. When I first looked upon her, I thought she's this lilting flower of a thing. She's going to get blown over by these two monkeys. But look at her holding her own. She's already on the third wine, head down, lost in the fog of her beautiful blonde hair. But she's a little indecisive. For someone who goes about as the wine decantress, I mean, this is fancy. I know. Well, hello. I mean, standing next to something, a creature as lovely as his wife. My God, you have to be a little disheveled. You can't control yourself all the time. Okay. So then there's Woody.
I can't answer that question. My beautiful girlfriend over there to my right, that is absolutely gorgeous. So,
a wise man once told me the day you stop looking is the day you start dying. So, he said he was wise. I don't know. I believed him.
but Woody seems very focused too. I'm very impressed.
As a seasoned professional, I'm going to say he's the most seasoned. I can actually see a little salt, or maybe that's black pepper behind his ear. I'm not sure. But he's fit to... I think we could stuff an apple in that mouth, charge him in an oven, and roast him up to about 450. What do you think?
Oh, he loves food. I know that. I can tell.
Okay. Well, he has my physique. And actually, I used to chuckle when oh gosh, I can't remember which commentator. It was Phil Mickelson. He goes, look at that golf physique. Phil's like me. He's a fatty. I mean, come on. And the guy's wearing the Athletica. It's just comical.
I like it. I think he's gonna have a good. He's gonna.
There we go. We broke his facade. First to fall.
Match my point of view. I love it.
Okay. Now, Garret with 2 R's, 2 T's, and his cuffs undone. Look who's so fancy now, rocking the sweater vest under the coat. Holy shit! This guy must live in San Francisco.
He's sweating.
You knew he would be. All that. It's like, again, back to a movie. Steve Carroll, he's trying to find the girl. He's in the suit. It's just pouring in there. He's just, wow. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to Woody. You think this guy can actually write legibly enough that we're going to be able to read it later?
I don't hear any swishing. How come you guys don't swish? Just get that wine moving in your palate here. We want to hear some swishing.
I don't think Gianna could swish.
Friends here.
Oh, wait, look at that, boys. The wine, the lips pucker, the finesse, the caress of the tongue around the palate. Wow. Garret is a lucky man.
He sure is.
Look at that. We broke him second. God, this is great. Pontification. Did you see that moment? Had to look to the stars for inspiration, except he's inside. There are no stars in here except he, him, his darling wife, and Woody on the left. Those are our stars.
Uh-oh, you went back on his notes.
Okay. So Woody's he's got the forehead in. I think he was maybe a football player. He's kind of leading with the head first, wants to get browbeat a little bit, not really sure of himself, but he's tasted enough wine and he's hanging with fancy enough folks that he's got to be able to talk the talk. What do you think? Is he the weak link on these three? I'm not sure.
All I know is his glasses are coming down really fast. I can tell you he loves these wines, all of them.
That is the greatest sign of appreciation. We do like the wine to depart at the right velocity. Okay, now, as everyone knows in cyber world, they have about 7 to 8 minutes to break down the first flight. They've got about 45 seconds left to evacuate their first... Whoa, Woody's up. Taking charge like he owns the damn place. God, I love this guy. I always love to see a kindred spirit just filleted out in front of the world. It's wonderful. Then it's not I'm the only one who's just the monkey in the room. This is great. Woody, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Look at this is a service guy. Doesn't place the bottle back in alignment, places it in front of the lovely co-host next to him. Yeah, he is kind of rubbing it in. So he's pretty much a prick too. Okay. No, come on. Okay, well, actually, maybe. Make this even more challenging. Okay, Garrett's already fallen behind. I'm nervous that he's not even going to finish. It's kind of like, We're going to do a Tough Mudder later this summer. I would not want him on my team. I'm sorry. He's in great shape. I don't think he's a strong finisher. So it looks to me in this marriage, he's lucky as hell that he found the woman of his dreams, because she's going to have to carry him along through this stuff. Now, in the real world, I'm sure he's a titan in his own business. But in this night, he is lagging behind. Hasn't even dropped juice out of one glass. I feel sorry for him already.
But he looks stylish. That's all that matters.
That's true. He's really... He is really well put together, and we do have style points in this. Okay, all right. We won't drop him just quite yet. Okay, those of you out in Cyberworld, we have now initiated the first clearing, so Woody's way ahead of the curve, as expected. Gianna's following right close at his heels, swirling, getting that wine to open. It's got to talk to her. It's got to speak. It's got to be vivid and vivacious. Not so dissimilar from Sweet Gianna. I like this. Okay. Garrett, you got to bring it up, buddy. You got to step up the pace. You're lagging behind. God, I love the confidence. This is how this is going to work out. Woody's going to come charging in. He's going to hit the third furlong, and boom, going to blow a hammy. I can see it already. Gianna's going to become flying in front of him, but it's actually going to be Garrett that crosses the line first. I think that's what's going to happen here. I love this. That's why this is called Tasting in the Dark, because we have absolutely no idea what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry? Retail prices, yes. That would be your cognitive appreciation for the value approximation dollars-wise for the wine. Wow, that was a terrible, terrible thing. Sorry, people. Okay. Garrett's now picked up wine 4, charged the glass. Wine 5 is about to happen. Oh, quite a dainty risk, though. Look at this guy. This is the strong finisher. Oh, my God. I love it. I think Woody's going to pick him up again and camera across the line like Walter Payton or the fridge picking up Walter Payton. This is going to be awesome. Okay, now let's just go for a moment to the neck gear. So Gianna's obviously the forerunner in this, because she's got a beautiful necklace, and it's appropriate to the black dress, and it just really makes her eyes like perfect. Now we have to go to Woody.
One thing they've all done is they poured a lot more wines than in the beginning, so I think they enjoy what they're drinking right now.
Feather in your cap, Chief, and I like where you're at. Yeah, volume is often indicative of pleasure. Although, once again, Woody's taken the lead. He said, 10 minutes lead start on Garrett, but that's not really the point. The fact that he's draining every dram out of every glass. We never even asked what Garrett's last name was. Or, sorry, what Woody's last name was. Is he a fine Irish laddie, do you think? Oh, so there it is. All right, a fine drinking country nonetheless, often more famous for their gin or whatnot. Van Horn. This is the night of fancy, folks. Holy shitballs, people. We've got a Van Horn and the Italian Terror 2 of some. I love it. Okay, so.
I'm talking because Garrett needs more time.
That's true. That's a good point. So we were telling bad jokes earlier, and Woody, was the only one that actually had a good bad joke, which is a novel quality in most of us and an essential quality in anyone who's pouring wine. So what Woody didn't tell everyone is that his new point of position is with the fanciest of fancy folks at a French laundry restaurant called Bouchon. Sorry, I have to elevate the speech on that one because, the cuisine in the arena, you're dancing with the serious folks. I mean, you're not just dancing with the stars. You are the star.
These guys know what they're talking about. They really know what they're talking about. I'm a little nervous now.
Okay, you should be. Now, sorry? At Bouchon. Wow. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, yeah, absolutely. So Garrett was smart enough to take his beautiful fiance, at that point girlfriend, to Bouchon to ask her a really important question. Do you want to spend the rest of your life with me? And she obviously said yes. So that was a good night. Okay. Back to Woody. Red tie, suit coat, or vest. Now, granted, it's colder than hell in Napa right now. I think the high was only about 69 degrees, so I can appreciate that. But, buddy, it's August. Really? Going the tie and the vest?
I get dressed up for you guys.
Don't worry, I'm going to make fun of...
He's going sommelier on us.
Oh, he's going smellier. Okay, sure. Maybe he'll even be indoctrinated into the court of smelliers. I know a couple of the master smelliers. I drink with them on a regular occasion, much to my chagrin. It's tough drinking with people that know so dang much about the wine that you're swilling. You just want it to be yummy, and they have to break it down to every ding-dang nuance. Okay, so I had all this promise and hope for Garrett. He unbuttoned the coat. I thought he was going to relax and buckle down. He's getting just lost behind these other two savages. I mean, even his wife no longer looks at him. She's all about the glass and the pen. She's smiling now because she knows she's going to have to at some point make excuses for her husband. And my wife does all the time, so it's not that uncommon of a feat. Woody is still the lead runner. Whoa, people. Holy shnikes. Okay, so he just slammed it into third, coming around the home bend. Wow, he's cranking it up to about 225. I mean, I used to race cars at Road Atlanta. I'm real excited. Okay, I've got Woody looks like the kid who wanted a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas. He's so cute. Thank you, Cyber World, for chiming in, and I would have to agree with you. If I were batting for the pink team, I'd be taking that boy home. Okay. Sorry, that was probably off color. Terribly sorry, everybody. Back to you, Garrett. Okay, so we've got now 6 red wines. Any reason why there was no white wine placed?
Because in the region that I...
Whoa, they are not allowed to... That was a violent breaking of the rules. There will be no conferences amongst the attendees. Garrett, you're safe once again.
You're the winner.
Zoom! Garrett comes flying into the number 1 spot.
You know that I brought you wines from all from one region, and that region really is known for reds. Therefore, I didn't bring any whites.
Okay.
And maybe they know each other from when they went to Bouchon, and it's a cohort or something. Something's going on here.
This is a more deeply rooted conspiracy than I had ever imagined. And for those of you out in cyber world that haven't seen the movie Zeitgeist, if you want to watch an hour and a half worth of film that will really piss you off, give this one a try. About 25 minutes in, you'll be really cranky. Okay, back to the table and to the moment. We've got just about 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Garrett still has not put a single note down for the last 3 wines. I wanted to love the guy. I was hoping to love the guy. Boy, has he got a mountain to overcome. But he's pretty fit, so he may not be much for kicking ass. But I think the long haul, this is kind of your marathon triathlon guy. Gianna, on the other hand, again, she's...
Notice Gianna's glasses are all over the place now.
Total disarray. Only Woody has a clean lineup.
Under pressure, she doesn't do so well, I think.
Oh, so that's how it's going to work. I see. So is this the girl, the decantress, that shows up at the tasting all prim, proper, and poised, and you get 3 sips of wine, or you get bad jokes, you get off-color comments? Is that where? Well, she probably weighs about 85 pounds, so maybe that's part of the deal.
Right. Yeah, she did fill up those glasses a lot.
I appreciate that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to count it down from 10. Whoa! We got a drinker at the group. So apparently the Dutch do like their juice. This is fantastic. Not only did he plow through the first 6 glasses, he had to recharge the last sip. Holy hell. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, or lady and gentlemen's, I use that term loosely, drop your pens. Prepare for the onslaught that is unmasking of these 6 wines. Ladies and gentlemen, wow, it's been a long time since we've had a panel this dedicated, this funny, and this good looking. Good God. All right. Garrett, would you be kind enough to go saddle up to Garrett? Kind of funny to say that. I'm going to take the seat next to you, and we will now dissect the wines at hand. Thank you. Thank you. The tabulation of said voting will be conducted by the esteemed firm of Loose Down, which is this goofy Frenchman with a funny yellow hat. Wow. Really? What? Really? You're that non-committal. You can't make the decision.
The point system doesn't work for me.
All right, fair enough.
So I'm going to go back to it. We'll just go in here.
So was it a short
Yeah, she kind of shut down and kind of reflected our
I was
relationship.
on Ritalin. I was okay with that.
People wasn't communicating what's going on. So
Unfortunately, I'm so old they didn't have Ritalin back then.
No.
They had detention. I guess it's the same.
Yeah, same thing.
Wow, our special. I'll be the only glass of white wine. Ha ha. Wow. Yum.
yeah, but it's
First, we have to get Garret.
Oh, we got a drink.
Okay.
Think about life and like,
Okay. There's really no need to dump because we're gonna have the wines tabulated. I'll let you defend yourselves.
Kevin Holt.
Kevin Holt.
He's talking. Can you hear?
Holy shnikes, Kevin, how are you? Kevin, I'm sorry that I can't see you in the lens of this camera, but it sounds like I hear your voice bubbling up on the little speaker in front of me. Kevin, where are you at?
I'm all over the place.
Susan, which is my camera? Thank you. Kevin, can you hear me? This is God speaking.
Oh, I'm gonna say goodbye to her.
Bye, Kevin. You're going to hell. Don't worry, I'll show you the way. I've got a great map. Okay, so Woody,
Yes.
was there a clear runaway favorite? Was there a perplexing state of intensity throughout the entire tasting?
My favorite,
Tell me about your experience, sir.
probably wine 2.
Wine 2?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Wine
That's
2,
pretty precise.
I think it had the most balance for acid alcohol to oak regime.
Okay.
I think it had great expression of fruit. I think it had a
Fancy wine drink right there.
great expression of fruit, very
Fabulous
balanced.
expression of fruit. I almost work at Bouchon.
The alcohol wasn't intimidating. The oak regime was kind of backed off a little bit. It kind of had everything kind of like lined up for that wine. So I think best in show for me was wine 2 definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you play with wine almost at a religious, wow, a religious basis for 10 years, you can speak like that too. You'll actually sound like a pro. And in this case, Woody actually is a pro. It's nice to have you at the table. Gianna, same question. Was there a wine that smelled or tasted like the wrong end of a donkey? Was there a wine that made you want to
No,
sing
no.
opera or write a sonnet?
They were all beautiful wines. I tend to like red wines a lot.
Do you have the Italy thing running through your blood? So
Yeah,
maybe, you know.
it's, all seasons I tend to be a big red fan, which is, a little bit rare for a, petite person as I am. But I would say, not to be a follower, but number 2 is my top choice as well.
Interesting.
But for different reasons. Well, I do agree. I thought it was a really nuanced wine. There were a lot of layers to it. I also got a lot more earthy and meaty tones to that one, whereas a lot of the other ones were more fruit driven. I really liked.
Got 2 votes, man. I gotta go.
I'll take a splash of that again as well.
Any idea what it is? Yeah, that's right. You're gonna rock a decantress. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna put you right out on the firing squad, darling. Ouch.
It tasted like a Cabernet to me.
Okay. Any particular markers or triggers that said, oh, that's Gavin? You're educating the populace. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had, your classic. If I was to guess, I would say it was a Bordeaux style blend.
Okay.
So it had, just a
It's
nice
got some,
balance.
It's got some stuffing. That's a big kid. It's got big feet.
Yeah. So a little bit of chocolate, some coffee. I got some smoked meat. I also got a lot of plummy flavors
Did
to
spend
that
some
one.
time in a sexy barrel. That's nice. Right on.
I agree with her there.
Do you think if you had to pick a vintage, what do you think it would be?
I'm going to defer to Woody on that one.
Well, does it have the big pop of primary fruit? Is it a little bit more restrained? Is
No,
it
I thought it had
feminine
really
style?
a nice long finished, which leads me to think that it's, drinking at its prime.
Okay.
So I think it's a good age to drink the wine at. I think it could easily be aged, for more years
It does definitely have some stuffing.
and soften, but I think it's elegant now as it is as well.
Right on. Knowing earlier that you have a bit of affinity for fairly rich red wines, you are from Italian or of Italian lineage. Would you expect to ever taste anything like this from the old world?
Yes, I think of all the wines that we tasted tonight, this one definitely, it did have some really nice fruit to it, but the balance in, the harmony between the fruit and the earth, did allude a little bit to old style. It didn't have a lot of funk. That's one thing that, it wasn't as funky as, and I tend to like the funk.
Give up funk.
I like the funk.
Give up the funk.
But for example, wine number 1, I really loved, but that did not taste old world to me at all. It was very, vanilla and beautiful, soft finish, elegant, but clearly new world.
Got it. But this could traipse through the Bordelaise family, it's from Marima down south. Okay.
Yeah.
Garret with 2 R's and 2 T's. Mr. Functional, Punctual.
I mean, you're gonna. So you heard from the wine industry insider and the elegant expert, the decantress, and I'm just the man on the street. So I was leaning towards number 3.
Awesome. God, I love dissension in the ranks. Thank God.
I like the bouquet. I like the mouthfeel.
Hey, Grabby.
The number 2 is a little too tannic for me.
Okay.
Give me like a pucker. It's just not my.
Okay. It's not your Gianna in the glass, is that what you're saying? Okay.
That's right.
All right.
And I like the dark sort of fruits that were coming
more
from
brooding
from the
quality.
third one. Yeah.
Masculinity, oozing power and dignity.
All right, so should we reveal all that?
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it. The first one we're gonna be revealing. That's the last, and this is wine number 5. And the wine number 5, and the one number 5. That was pretty much I have a 14.5. I have 14 from Woody and a 15 from you guys. So that was a good consensus. What was it? You think Cabernet Sauvignon? Any ideas on what it is?
It was really jammy, in my opinion. A really bright fruit forward wine.
If you're to guess one varietal, what would it be?
Didn't I already have to do this earlier?
No, but just like, would it be like Cabernet Sauvignon or maybe Zinfandel?
Zinfandel.
Yeah, talking about James. What about you? What do you think?
When I first tasted it, I thought it was. I was almost down the road of Petite Sirah just because of the tannic level on it. I think it's just but then like the fruit, it wasn't really like Petite Sirah tannic on the fruit, so I thought it was just oak and it was just a younger wine. So I think it will improve with age, but I think it's a little bit too young to drink. But I think I just think the oak was there. It was very. The oak was very present, and I think maybe the winemaker was trying to make it be able to age a little bit longer than what's coming out.
Okay, Garret, how much should we pay for that? Like a below
check.
50, below 20?
Number 5?
Between, yeah.
$3 million.
I had it at slightly less, 25.
25. Okay, let's reveal that. 25? 24 for Garret. Let's reveal number 5.
Wine 5 is Tournesol Napa Valley red wine from 2008.
Tournesol.
It is a
Cabernet, this is a Cabernet.
combination.
It's a Bordeaux blend.
Okay.
So it's got all the varietals from Bordeaux. Cabernet and some
86
Malbec,
Cab,
some Petit
7
Verdot,
Malbec, 3 Petit Verdot.
Merlot, and so forth.
Hillside? Is it hillside fruits or, sorry, I didn't.
No, it's actually again. Well, should I tell which region I was working with? This is Coumsville.
No.
Well, yeah,
Well,
Cookesville.
it's Coumsville.
oh my gosh, you should have neck for Sherman Galbius. Well done.
And so it's somewhat a little early, but not really. It's just most of these fruits are going to be at ground level. No hillside.
I gotta tell you, the scores are very close. I mean, the last one has 44 points, and the first one is 48.5.
Wow.
So this is really, really tight. Let's review number 5, and this is the one number 2 actually. Let's
think
have it here.
That shows good for the region.
Yeah.
Because I think if all the scores are pretty close,
Trying to do
then
it fast,
it's
it's
good
not
for
gonna work.
Coumsville because there's consistency in the product they're producing overall as an AVA.
Right, different winemakers.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. It's an amazing AVA, and most people don't realize how important it is for Cabernets and Syrah to have that region.
I was down at I went to Paul Mons not that long ago, and just
One of my
yeah,
favorites.
beautiful. I mean, when they
Plain
spoke about the
Vintner.
region and it's really you don't get to. It's funny working restaurants up Valley. Coumsville doesn't make it up that well
Right.
that way as much,
Right.
but we brought it on the list of Grey Goose and Gander. Put it on the list. It's a great addition. So,
Is like a Coumsville a different word for you guys?
say again.
Is a Coumsville still a different word?
They call it.
Toulouse.
There's the Coumsville complex. That's what I've heard, and
then-
it's
and then
it's
when
like
you-
a little hard to make it through the Rutherford and Oakville going up to 29. Just doesn't make it up that much. So it's kind of fun being up Valley, getting to bring some of those up. So
Right.
Miss Wagno came up 5th.
Wait,
But
we both-
that's the one
They
they
both
both
liked
liked,
it.
best.
I have a 15 and I have a 10. Garret,
Oh, you submarined it. Way to go, man. Making your presence felt. That's awesome. All right.
It's just not for me. I don't like the tannic.
Well, all right. Go. Tell us why not. Why do you like it? I mean, the tannins were very.
Yeah, it had some earth
Yeah.
notes and some really strong tannic.
Yeah.
And I don't have a steak in front of me, so I was just judging it by right now,
Sure.
the here and now. So
Actually, you do have a steak in front of you.
It's
right.
it's 50% Cabernet, 50% Syrah, both from Coombsville, made by Rolando Herrera. Very, very successful wine. I mean, extremely successful. But I completely get what you're saying because there were so many other wines that had much more feminine particularities. They were soft and beautifully integrated. Good acidity always. Coombsville has great acidity. So I completely understand why you would, for your palate, you're like, hey, no, the tannins are a little bit rough.
This
What,
is shit.
but by the way,
my glass.
but by the way, stylistically, this is what Rolando's trying to do. He likes the kind of wine that have very macho. So, it's not a mistake. He clearly wants to have that.
A gentleman of Mexican descent wants a macho style. Come on! I mean, I know I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but
What was the price on these two?
How much will you pay for that?
Oh, me? I just got to go with what I have on the sheet. Even though it wasn't my favorite, I still had it priced around the highest. I had it $40.
But he wants his money back. That's,
How much will you pay for that? That was your favorite one?
I wrote 60.
60? All right. Shoot.
About 45 and about 85 right here.
85 for the
the Tournesol.
Tournesol 35
wow, interesting. 85.
So-
And
so-
then 45 for that.
and 45 for the Miscellaneous. All right, let's reveal wine number 4, and that will be number 6. And you have it.
My, that's quite a long fellow you have there.
This is wine 6.
Yeah. And 1.6, let's see what we have here. Garret, you enjoyed that one.
I did.
So tell us a little bit why.
I
You're the
like
one
the
talking.
balance. It had some nice fruit, but I got a little bit of some smoke, some smoked meat characteristic, and for me, if you can mix a fruit forward with the smoke, it's a nice balance.
Jenna, what you have to say to your husband? You did.
Yeah,
you
I
definitely
agree.
didn't like it.
I did not dislike it. I actually would have paid the most for that wine, which is, indicative of the quality that I think this wine entails. So, and I did agree with Garrett that it had some meaty qualities, which I really like to balance out the very fruit qualities. I also got like a little bit of like violet or licorice hints to it, so it was a little interesting to me.
Licorice, is very indicative to the region of Coombsville. You'll find that in almost every wine you're tasting today.
Yep.
Or
Or
anise, or petals of anise, but
Yeah.
you'll find it in every of these wines.
Are you putting like a licorice sticks in it?
Yeah, do you remember when you were a kid?
Yeah, yeah.
The root. You
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
the root
yeah, yeah.
of canna of
Licorice?
licorice? All these
No.
different flavors.
I don't.
We used to chew when we were kids in France. We
Yeah.
used to chew.
You
on
did
the-
not
on
grow
the
up in
root.
France.
Yeah, San Diego. We didn't
It was
chew
very
on
pungent.
Not a lot of fennel
You should have something
going on
else.
there.
San Diego.
Yeah, there was no.
So Woody, when I sometimes talk about a character of
We're chewing on something else.
with your name, that's perfect actually. But when I have that character in a wine, I tend to think of more like the bark and things
Right.
like that. So I think in that region, I would think of that root of licorice.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't relate to the remember as a
So
child.
Longfellow,
We were both from France.
so Longfellow is number 4. What was the price point on that, Garret?
60.
$60. And what vintage?
That was
09.
09.
19. All right, let's reveal now wine
A Longfellow.
number 4. So wine number 4,
Wait, what we just did was 6, right?
yeah.
Wait. Before
Jenna.
Hold it, hold
Before
it.
we open this one, do you guys want to talk about the region itself? Did they find that every wine had a little bit of a, characters that were similar in each of these wines?
Licorice.
Did you feel that they were all from the
Thanks,
same region?
Jeter.
Absolutely.
Did it make sense to you?
Yeah, no, I see
did.
continuity now. I couldn't put it together while I was blind.
No.
I couldn't. I was fixated on varietals and I haven't tasted enough Coombsville to be able to like nail it or anything like that. So
I thought my palate was off, and everything was just tasting the same.
Yeah, no.
'Cause I was getting them all. They're very similar. Where when we do tastings, at wineries and even at restaurants, usually they're very different, even within the same winery. But for some reason, I was getting this common thread throughout them all.
I'm glad because that shows the incredible
versus nurture.
Yeah, they are. These wineries, these winemakers are very careful to bring out the terroir. So I'm glad you think this was a kind of a trick wine. I wanted to bring you into a whole other region.
And that was Jenna's favorite.
This is number 4.
It was your favorite?
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, after
The
one number,
quattro.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like one number one is 19 years, but your second highest rating.
I think I'm bad with my scoring as well.
It's 18.
I made that up at the end. I wasn't. It was a
So
hard
here's a surprise, guys. It's a wine made from a region that almost no wineries are there, but made by a very famous winemaker, Bennett Valley. You don't see too many wineries from Bennett Valley.
Right. Wait,
From
Bennett
where?
Valley? In Sonoma?
Bennett Valley.
Bennett Valley,
Yeah,
southern Sonoma.
in the Santa Rosa area. over
Mountains on both sides.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
there. And so Philippe Melka, started this project. Philippe Melka, and then now Mark Mazzoni, is taking over the winemaking. But a very beautifully elegant wine.
So 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, or what is it?
100% Cabernet, and I've never ever in 11 years brought a wine from outside of Napa Valley. That was the first time I ever did. I was like, oh man, that wine is too beautiful. It's just insane.
How much is that?
I think that one is 90.
90?
Somewhere around there.
Okay.
2008
Terrible at
Flanagan
price. I'm
Cabernet.
terrible at price point because when the winery comes and see me, I don't care about what the price is. I want the wine to be extraordinary. So my she's over there to get the exact price, but somewhere around
So,
there.
Jenna, what was the appeal of this one for you?
I wrote down Philippe Melka right here. I knew it.
You did?
Yeah.
Again, just the
Recognize it.
balance of the wine. It's a wine with a lot of intense flavors, but the finish is so long and velvety. It's not harsh, and you get layer after layer of flavors. So I started off with some really dark fruits. I thought, okay, this is going to be a big, bold, fruit-driven wine, and then got these layers of like roasting meat, and then went into some coffee and toffee and caramel, and it just kept evolving. It was just really elegant and interesting wine to me.
What about you, Willie? Yours that was like not your least favorite, but that was,
It was,
14.
for me, I almost called it a Syrah first. I landed it, it definitely tasted different than a lot of the other ones, and that's why I pulled it into the Syrah camp, because I didn't get as much tannin. I got a lot of that cool blue fruits, and then I agree with her on the meat. So it kind of was right in that line for me. It reminded me of, a California interpretation of a Courvoisier or something like that, like where, you had that Brambly, you had that, you had those fruits and that cured meat a little bit, but the intensity of California at the same time. I do agree with her with the chocolate, and there's a lot of layers and there's a lot of finesse that goes in this wine, but in the lineup it was kind of hard to pull it out because it was a little, there's a lot of cab going on. So
Yeah.
for me it was like, for this one and some of the other one you said that was half Syrah, half cab, the number 2 that we liked.
Yep.
I liked the acid in that one, and that's kind of what stole it for me. This one just has a lot of those layers of fruit, and Philippe has a way of it's almost like a macrame. He just adds all these different layers in there where you could sit with his wine for a long time.
Yes.
So
You
Sorry,
just
we
drink
call this wine
on its own.
macaroni.
Macaroni.
Sorry, macrame.
What's the price on this one is?
90, I think, somewhere, right? I think that.
Flanagan? Do you give like a case discount at the shop?
Rarely, only if you're a club member.
You're a
is
it?
taster, right?
It's actually a multi-wine tasting room. Again, I repeat because it's important distinction. We have 18 wineries now, approximately, sharing space. They pay rent there, and it's their. So when you come in, you have to work your nose and make sure you recognize all these different flavors. And
Sure.
Smell the history.
Blondes, redheads, brunettes, yeah, whatever.
The old patchouli.
I was thinking of the old redwood bean, but I don't know.
Of course.
Whatever you're, just.
All right, let's move on and let's go
Proper fellas.
to the runner-up, which is wine number 1.
Wine number 1,
Yeah.
lords and ladies.
And on this one here, Woody loved it. Gianna, pretty good.
I give it a
But
19.
Garret really disliked it.
Submarined it yet again, ladies and gentlemen.
Funny because you like the long filler.
No, I know. This, I was getting some.
Oh no,
I tend to not like earth.
Mix it up.
And
Yeah.
I got some.
We mixed
earth.
that one up.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
did not
yeah.
love it.
Now, Gianna,
I
sorry,
liked
Gianna
it.
loved it.
I loved it.
Woody was okay, and Garret was okay too, actually.
Yeah,
So there you go.
it was my second.
So it
one.
is.
The
now
steam
you're
firm
saying
of
it's-
Blue Style,
So it is number 2 in on.
Yeah, the one, the second one, the runner-up is one number 1, which is this one.
And that happens to be my wine.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen,
Just getting in with
into the
Garrett.
lineup.
Now, see that? She's getting a fur carrot. That's it.
Tell us what it is, Coach Cheese. I mean, come on, it's your
This
juice.
this is mostly Cabernet with a little bit of Malbec, like 4% Malbec. Is that what you wrote?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
I've been doing this since 2006. The same blend. It's Rolando Herrera who helps me with that wine, and he makes it a little softer for me, a little bit more feminine in style, and it's got a great appeal. You can have it's got great acidity too. So it's a food wine, but also it's one of those wines people start opening in an afternoon and they can't stop drinking it. It's just gonna be like one of those wines.
That's the good kind.
Yeah. Coombsville fruit again. And
What vineyard do you source it from?
well, he sources from a different vineyard. That this one is Carpignano, I think. Carpignano. Just making sure I'm saying it right. Yeah. So
And what's the price point on this?
Las Bonitas.
the price point is 75.
That's your one. You sure?
The price points to me just don't matter. I mean, you
How
like
many
the wine,
cases?
you don't.
How many cases you make?
About we're at about this 250 cases.
Okay.
So every little lots that I make under Las Bonitas, they're all about 250 cases, and it's easier to
10 beautiful barrels.
yeah. All the vintners that there tends to be more of a way to have a little bit of fun versus just it's work.
If I remember well, like last year when you came up, you presented your Las Bonitas. That was a Pinot that ended up winning the tasting.
Yes, that's true.
Today, this is a Renard. That's pretty good.
That's weird.
I guess you know what you're doing.
I
Not
know
bad for French.
The vintners know what they're doing. I just make sure it's done right. And,
Yeah.
For me, I went Zinfandel on it right away. It reminded me of because it was lighter than a lot of the other wines on the list.
Right.
It felt not like Zen in a Medway, but Zen in like a Sonoma old school vine Zen where it has these beautiful red fruits and it's kind of it's balanced. It's has acid. So when you said that you have
good maturity.
you asked him to pull a little back. You make it a little bit more
Well,
reserved.
this year, we're going a little bit more angular actually.
Okay.
A little bit more angular, and I know what you're saying. That's why I'm going. I'm gonna go a little bit more angular so people know it's a cab,
Right.
right? Even though that's the style I prefer, by the way.
It's delicious. No,
But
it's good stuff.
but I do have to respond to my clients. That's more important what people think than what I think.
Wait a minute, is the audience always right?
But that's most of the time.
Terrifying.
All right, I'm gonna have some of
Okay.
that right now.
And
Nicely done.
Can you tell us the name of it again?
Las Bonitas, which means beautiful girls, and that's my girl's blonde hair mixed with vines. It's an abstract in
I
design.
thought it was so elegant.
Thank you.
let's read. And what vintage?
That was
09?
10.
10? 2010. The Flanagan was 09.
That was yes.
All right.
No, the Flanagan was 8.
Wait.
Yeah. Correct. Exactly.
All right. And the last. So who dare to guess what it was?
Which one is this?
We are revealing wine number 3.
I went Merlot.
This happened to be my
Makes me wanna say
favorite
Cabernet.
wine since I've opened Vintners Collective.
Garret,
No question about
what do you think that was? That was your favorite.
I know.
That was your favorite. Why do you like it?
Because it was supremely yummy.
It was.
Brother.
I really like it was the dark fruits, dark cherry, and it had a wonderful nose and a beautiful finish. I mean, I liked it all the way through. It was just a wonderful ride.
Yeah. And Gianna, I guess you had a little issues with this one, yeah?
Caldwell Syrah.
Perhaps it was because I tasted it after the previous meatier, more integrated wine, but it was very fruit forward to me, which I love. I think paired with the right food, this would be just absolutely fantastic. I just didn't get enough complexity for my preference.
Yeah.
I would have liked a little bit more earthiness. So just a personal preference.
What maybe someone want to guess the vintage on that?
I would say it's an 09 Merlot. I think it has a really strong, or Cab Franc. It's got something in there that really drives the mid palate, and that's what I think. The structure in the mid palate really made this wine for me. It has acid that balances out.
It has nice
Look
acid.
at the shape of the bottom. That'll help.
Right.
Oh, it's like a
Little bit.
I haven't thought about it. So,
Because it is truly it's in the right bottom.
All right. So
And I know what you're saying that, Woody, because
there's something in the, it could be Syrah. It's
I
Syrah.
tell you what just
okay, let's.
I was trying to figure out the theme of the flight the whole time. So I said Syrah, and then I wrote scratched out Syrah and
Coombsville is the
Merlot.
least known.
Switch up there, Syrah.
It's the least known AVA in the United States.
So this is a really beautiful Syrah from the region, and they made it super beautifully soft and very in Rhone we blend Viognier very often with Syrah to make it floral and soft and
Do the co-fermentation,
and fleshy
so you
right?
make it alive.
Yeah, well, fleshiness and the acidity is still there on Coombsville, but it's beautiful. It's an absolutely beautiful Syrah, and it's hard to taste that Syrah, like you said, Gianna, compared to gigantic, big, angular, monster, tannic wines. You can't because it's just gonna. And it's Syrah. It should be able to, but it doesn't. It's a wine on its own.
Well, as I said, I mean, the score that goes from like a 44 to 40 or 43 and a half to 48 and a half. So it's variation of 5 points, and that's pretty good. I mean, that's usually we have like some drastic numbers, and here that was. So what do you think in general of the selection of Mr. Murphy? Was it like a good selection? That was a good.
Kudos to him for doing a Coombsville.
I have
you
to
know
say,
Coombsville
it's
a
so
little better?
funny. It's so funny because my husband's cousin emailed me this week to ask for some recommendations for an upcoming bachelor party, and I had recommended Paul Maz. And so I had Coombsville on the mind, and as Woody mentioned earlier, I think it's an underlooked region sometimes, and I think there's just really great fruit coming out of it, really great wines coming out of it, and it was really exciting to get to taste a lineup that focused on that appellation. So it was really interesting.
And Palmas is not more of that hillside of the Coombsville zone. You can think of Caldwell. Anything around Caldwell is what this represents.
Yeah.
Not so much hillsides, but yeah.
And
Palmas
you guys have a house in Coombsville, right? Don't you?
Yountville.
You're in Yountville? I
Yeah,
thought you
my
were
mother's in
Coombsville.
Yountville.
Somebody else, I guess.
Yeah.
It's all right. So great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys very much. It's a great compliment.
Beautiful wine.
Just like something a little bit separate, and just like for a couple of minutes. So what do you think of the new acquisition or the sale of Araujo to a French company, Latour, and big company? But what do you think of the sale of this prestigious estate here in Napa Valley?
Truly one of the great vineyards.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was there.
Were you surprised?
About a month and a half. I think everyone was surprised. I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
For sale for 6 years.
And I don't. Not that move though. I didn't think it was going to be Latour, or one of the big houses in France. I didn't think. I thought, when you see the people that cross over, across the pond or whatever, you see a lot of them go for, that Rutherford Dust. You see a lot of them go for, Rutherford Oakville. But I haven't ever seen. And I think it's great for Calistoga. I think it's great for all the people up there. I think it's good for the region. I think it's good for the neighbors. And I mean, I don't think anyone has anything against it. I think people were surprised, but nobody was, shocked. It wasn't like a bad thing.
Was it like a better, like, would it be more surprising to be a French group or a Chinese group?
I think a Chinese group would have been less surprising.
Yeah.
But I think it's good. I think it's good business, and we'll see. We'll see what
Awesome
happens.
vineyard.
Jean-Charles, you were sleeping when doing this whole deal?
I don't know. Maybe like he's busy like a bank, I think his bank strategy is a little bit different. So that would be my guess. Anyway, Gianna, any comment on that or at this point?
I personally think it's great. I think it's, speaks a lot of to the quality that Napa is bringing to the global market. I mean, we're here.
Yeah.
It's been, 40 years since the judgment-ish, and tables are turning.
And the French are coming up here, they realize
Exactly.
that, oh man, we'll do.
They're looking to us for our styles now, so I think it's great.
Garrett?
I mean, I'm all for diversification, so I think
Yeah.
it's a good
Sounds
thing.
good.
What do you think?
Oh, to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I think that's pretty cool, but we'll see. As long as they don't break, something that is already running very well, and I think that already the influx of fresh money, I would like to see how this money is going to be used. And try to keep it like a small estate, not start to buy like fruits from another region and that kind of thing, and try to create another wine, just for the sake of it, like for those.
So you'd like to see them keep the Islay Vineyard blend?
Well, this is like you cannot dilute that. I mean, it would be a big mistake.
Well,
I mean, this is
yeah. If you look at the history of it, I mean, I think it went into Insignia, I think originally.
Oh yeah.
So if you look
the
at
Montebello did it,
Right.
and sure. But I mean, that wasn't diluted. I mean, like people were still, labeling as, for this instance, as Islay Vineyard, and so, first wish is to keep it as Islay. This is, this vineyard is too incredible to blend it with something else, and just maintain it, and I don't know how much better you can make it. I would like to see that if that's even feasible. It would be great. I mean, that's
Funny that the wine was made by a lovely French woman for about a decade.
Yeah.
Now it's controlled by a French house.
yeah. What goes around, what? Last thought.
It's just been lovely to have you at the table. Thank you all very, very much. Garrett, kudos for bringing such an interesting and enlightening flight of wines.
Thank you very much.
Gianna and Garrett, congratulations. To many travels back to merry old Italy for the two of you. You can eat and drink your way across the homeland. And Woody, I look forward to dipping a glass with you sometime real soon.
oh, of course, yeah, definitely.
Mr. Lustow and Susan, to those of you out in cyber world, thank you very, very much. We will see you the first Monday of next month for yet another Tasting in the Dark.
Santé.
Cheers.
Cheers.